What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online Jam League? Jamiroquai 2000 here with a new limited series of my past series of Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai, all the information you need to know about the band Jamiroquai for any new members of the Jam League or music aficionados who happen to be coming into Jamiroquai and want to know a little bit more about the band, at least on a video form, informational and video form. Here in episode 2 here of the Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai, Jamiroquai Album 9, I'm going to be looking into the social media lore build that has been happening all on Jamiroquai HQ social media over the latter months of 2025, building up some more anticipation and building up some more lore building about where the heck Jamiroquai Album 9 conceptually is going to be going upon its release sometime in 2026. So let's get into that episode. Now, JK and Jamiroquai and everybody in Jamiroquai on social media, at least as of the last few album cycles, and of course I'm talking about 2010's Rock the Light Star and 2017's amazing return to form of Automaton, Jamiroquai HQ social media has been doing an amazing job promoting and hinting about stuff coming down the pipeline for the band Jamiroquai. And here in the 9th album cycle, which, like I prefaced in the first episode 1 of this Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai, the 9th album, they have been hinting this 9th Jamiroquai album going all the way back to 2021, which originally originated from a vinyl release of Everybody's Going to the Moon, which was a old song that was a B-side that actually showed up on a movie in a movie soundtrack, but ended up being released on vinyl as part of a Record Store Day vinyl release from Jamiroquai. JK has been hinting about this album for a very long time, but as of the latter part of 2025, here in episode 2, I'm going to be looking at the social media lore build that JK and his many colorful characters aforementionedly from social media, he's been doing to hype up this album, at least in a creative and a social media viral sense. Now, a lot of studio updates have been coming from Jamiroquai over the last probably say 2 years. They've been working meticulously and methodically on this 9th Jamiroquai album, going all the way back to 2021. But mind you, 2021 to 2025 was mostly a period of compositional writing, mostly laying it all out, getting the lyrics down, getting the instrumentation ironed out before they went into recording. Now, Jamiroquai Album 9 did go into recording officially as acknowledgement on social media as of March of 2024, and since that point, the band members of Jamiroquai on their social media, respectively, via mostly Instagram and social media, and of course Jamiroquai HQ social media in their own right, had been putting out basic static studio updates of the band in the studio, around the studio, working on Jamiroquai Album 9 and kind of making it more of a social media-centric, organic experience of a building. But things kind of changed with that when around August to September of 2025 specifically, JK put out 4 very highly interesting viral videos. The first 2 were rather existential in state, but it was JK out in the car lot of his home in Buckinghamshire, outside of London, basically talking in an American accent, which JK doesn't regularly do, but playing a character about having a fixation about going back in time and going back to the 70s and going back to the 80s. Mind you, in the first of these 4 viral videos, one key thing to notice was JK had showed off an old Ferrari car that he recently had resprayed. Now, this car's respray, and that's when you change the color of a car, had been reported going back as far as 2023, but he showed off this Ferrari car, which was a Ferrari Spider car, which he had recently resprayed in the color of the purple Lamborghini from the Cosmic Girl music video from 1996, which happened to be the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini literally was the concept of a lot of the liner and album art for Jamiroquai's breakthrough album in 1996 of Traveling on Moving. But he showed off that resprayed car, which was kind of a metaphorical amalgamation of old versus meeting new sound. So that was a cool little bit of an automotive Easter egg, which I will be touching on again in this episode of the Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai in the 9th album a little bit later on. But let's move on. But like I said, these first 2 viral videos was JK playing a character who basically wanted to go back and forth through time to relive the salad days of Jamiroquai. In the second video, JK was wearing a very colorful track top, I may notice, and he was talking about going, and in that video, he showed off his cherry red Ferrari car, too, as well. But, and then the latter videos, he kind of was just doing the same character, but basically talking about wanting to go back and forth through time, most notably focusing on the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Now, after a great majority of these viral videos went live on social media, on Jamiroquai HQ social media specifically, I did reach out to Jamiroquai HQ management and asked, are these related to Jamiroquai Album 9? And they were nice enough to confirm, yes, these 4 viral videos are in relation to Jamiroquai Album 9. Now, in the 4th of these JK home videos, JK kind of took a little bit of a comical swipe at a certain president that's in my home country, who I will not name a name of, but you can easily predict who that man is. You know, big man, very strong man. Hope you enjoyed that impression. That's for free in this video, by the way. But anyway, I digress. He played a character which many members of the Jamly, in a response, called Jam Trumple, where it's basically him playing this facsimile of an American president, talking about how the album's going to be big and awesome and spectacular. But that was one of the first times in all of the updates from the Jamiroquai studio at Shillington, where we actually got to hear playback of strings for the second of the 3 new songs for Shadow in the Night. Now, throughout the rest of these updates from the band, outside of those 4 key videos, we did have yet another Easter egg about Jamiroquai Album 9 make its way in a public appearance by JK at several car events throughout the latter part of 2025, where JK drove that aforementioned in the first viral video he did, that resprayed purple Spider Ferrari car, that the color of a purple Lamborghini. There was license plates. There were vanity license plates that simply said disco with a K, because the European spelling of disco can sometimes incorporate a K rather than a C. And I did ask Jamiroquai management about that. Is that a reference to Jamiroquai Album 9? Certainly they said yes, it is. So that license plate in that car was yet another great little social media Easter egg. And I chronicled all of my thoughts and interpretations of all the aforesaid JK Brawler videos and everything else in a great handy infographic. So if you'd like to check out all my thoughts on all these viral videos and all these 9th album hits that came out by Jamiroquai and respective band member social media, I'll be sure to put a link to that infographic down in the description area of this episode, The Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai, the 9th album, down below, so you can consult that in your own time. But then after those 4 videos came out, they kind of stuck to just doing repeated updates from the studio, and I just so happen to have created an Imgur album of all the notable pictures and videos to come out of the band members' respective Instagram accounts, and of course Jamiroquai HQ social media, updated all the way back since March of 2024, so you can just look at all the updates that the band have sequentially done, hinting Jamiroquai Album 9, and some of that stuff is absolutely awesome. And I'll additionally link that Imgur album so you can check it out on your own, and I do keep it regularly updated down in the description area of this episode of The Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai, the 9th album, down below. So be sure to check out that goodness down below. And thank you again for watching this episode of The Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai and the 9th album. I hope I illuminated you and a little bit about knowing what's going to be coming from Jamiroquai Album 9. And coming up in the final episode of this series, the 3rd album, I'm going to be discussing when this 9th Jamiroquai album is going to be coming out, and it just keeps changing. When the time frame of when this album could be coming out continues to change, but I will hopefully be able to articulate it here in the 3rd episode of this limited series of The Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai. But if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell on your YouTube to stay up to date on all the latest content coming from the Jamiroquai 2000 YouTube channel as we roll into the month of March of 2026. And I'm sure we're going to have more major album updates forthcoming on their official social media and, of course, my social media. So keep your eyes out for that very, very soon. But as always, this is Jamiroquai 2000. And I'll see you really soon with the final episode of this limited series, The Beginner's Guide to Jamiroquai, the 9th Jamiroquai album. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you around.